Yep. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the sports culture, all things sports. And we are back talking about Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston. Now, you might be wondering what's going on between Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston. Like, what are you talking about? Now, over the past couple of days, if you've been paying attention to content creators and even some mainstream people, they want to point that there's a rift between Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, but more so is coming from Aaliyah Boston. I know it sounds confusing right now. I know it doesn't make any sense right now because we just saw them play great basketball yesterday. So, beef, what are you talking about, beef? A riff? What kind of riff are you talking about? What can you be talking about? Now, is something there, according to certain content creators. I'm going to break it all the way down. I'm going to explain where it came from, and I'm going to explain if it's something or if it's nothing. So, to the people that entered the building, do me a favor. When you enter, hit the like button for me. Also, when you enter the building, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do me this favor. Hit the subscription button. I'm on the road to 1K subscribers, and at this very moment, every single subscriber matters. So, let me kind of break this whole thing down and just kind of talk about like where did this come from, because I know you are confused, because when I was seeing what was happening, I was really confused. I was confused. On Twitter mostly, people were insinuating Aaliyah Boston has underlining issues with Caitlin Clark. This was a thing. I can't believe I'm saying it, but yes, this was a thing. Now, if you want to know where it came from, I am going to pull up exhibit number one. Exhibit number one. I'm going to get right to it. So this is a video of Aaliyah Boston and Candace Parker. They have their own podcast. They have their own podcast. And in this podcast, they talked about MVPs. Who should be the MVP of the WNBA? And on this list of four people, Caitlin Clark's name was not on this list. Now, this was this was this podcast dropped maybe a couple weeks ago. So, a lot has changed since then, right? The Indiana Fever, they continue to beat good opponents. Caitlin Clark clearly at this moment looks like a top 2 to 3 um, MVP candidate right now. Like, you can't deny that at this moment. But like I said, this was 2 weeks ago. A lot has changed, but this is kind of like the origins of why people, mostly Caitlin Clark stands, they feel like Aaliyah Boston has some type of underlying beef with Caitlin Clark. So let me play this video. This is from Candace Parker and Aaliyah Boston's podcast. They have a podcast together. And a couple of weeks ago, they were talking about their top 4 MVP candidates.
I think in terms of MVP, it may not be in this order, but to me, it's Asia Wilson, surprise, surprise, Olivia Miles.
Kelsey Mitchell.
Can I get there?
Oh, my bad.
Kelsey Mitchell, Paige Beckers. Those are my 4. I think you could swap, but I think Olivia Miles gets the edge just because they're the number 1 team in the league. They're head and shoulders, I would say, above. But yeah, I think Asia Wilson again, unless voters get tired, this midseason, yeah, it's hard not to have her in the conversation. I think in terms of MVP,
So that's where it all started at. That was the beginning of people questioning, hey, what's going on with Aaliyah Boston? Does she have a vendetta against Caitlin Clark? Yo, what's going on? Because Candace Parker named 4 people as MVP candidates. She said Asia Wilson, Paige Beckers, Kelsey Mitchell, and Olivia Miles. Now, Aaliyah Boston said Kelsey Mitchell. She threw it out there. Kelsey Mitchell, and Candace Parker was like, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. Now, if you ask me, do I think this is a big deal? I don't think it's that big of a deal. Do I agree with that top 4 list? I don't. I would definitely have Caitlin Clark in my top 4 as far as MVP candidates. And yes, this was a couple weeks ago. This isn't recent. But even a couple of weeks ago, I would still have Caitlin Clark in my top 4. Like, she deserves it. But do I think this is a big deal that Caitlin Clark's teammate, Aaliyah Boston, didn't say her name in top 4? To be honest, no, I don't think it's a big deal. Because this is the thing. Who gives a damn if you're in that locker room? Who is the MVP of the WNBA? And I say that because the Indiana Fever, they are in the top 4 in the WNBA. And they have championship aspirations. They do. They want to win a championship this year. They do. So if you want to talk about MVPs and who should be an MVP, who shouldn't be, like, I get it. Aaliyah Boston, Candace Parker, they're in the content space, which, I don't agree with Aaliyah Boston doing a podcast during the middle of the season. Like, this is why she's in hot water. This is why she's in hot water. You're doing a podcast during the middle of a very important season. You just got paid the richest contract in WNBA history. You're a millionaire now. And you're doing podcasts with a WNBA legend who is very opinionated, to say the least. Candace Parker, she's opinionated, and I respect her opinions. She's a WNBA legend. She has something to say, I will listen. But Aaliyah Boston, you put yourself in a kind of a bad position, to be completely honest. Doing this podcast in the middle of the season, you guys have championship aspirations. At this point, content creators, people with strong opinions, people with voices in the sports world, they're going to nitpick every single thing you say and every single thing you do. So for you, and there's no smoke with Candace Parker. People really don't care what Candace Parker has to say, to be honest with you. All the smoke is with Aaliyah Boston. That's where all the energy is going towards. And there are a lot of YouTube content creators who are Caitlin Clark stans. Not a fan, a stan. A stan goes beyond a fan. Meaning, in their eyes, Caitlin Clark, you can't criticize her. You can't do it. They won't allow for any type of criticisms to Caitlin Clark. Me, I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. I will sing her praises when I need to sing her praises. And I will criticize Caitlin Clark when Caitlin Clark needs to be criticized. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal for me to say, hey, Caitlin Clark, you got to get better defensively. And she has. I'm just talking. Hey, Caitlin Clark, you might be jacking up too many logo threes right now. Right now is not the time for that. It's just me talking. But I have no issue with being critical of Caitlin Clark. I promise you I don't. So yeah, Aliyah Boston, she kind of put herself in this position unnecessarily, talking about, MVPs. And this is the thing. She sung the praises of her teammate, Kelsey Mitchell, who has been like the forgotten player in this whole situation. Obviously, Kelsey Mitchell is an amazing basketball player who can score the ball at ease. She's a scorer. That's what she does. She gets buckets. And if you want to have conversations of Kelsey Mitchell being an MVP candidate, I will listen to it. I'll listen because I know how valuable she is to the Indiana Fever. To be honest with you, all three, the big three on the Indiana Fever team, Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, Aliyah Boston, they're all important to that team. All three had different roles, but all three, they're very important. I feel like if one of those players goes missing, they won't win a championship. It's that simple. They all need each other. They need each other. Now, I'm talking about Kelsey Mitchell and, the MVP talk about her. And the thing about it is, one, I think I understand where it's coming from. Two, I don't think it's, that crazy to have her, you know, in the MVP conversations. Not saying she's going to win the MVP, but to have her in the conversations, it's cool. It's okay. Now I'm going to play this video of Caitlin Clark singing the praises of Kelsey Mitchell. She was giving her flowers. And me playing this video is important so that everybody understands, hey, number one, everybody has a role to play. And number two, Kelsey Mitchell is very important to the Indiana Fever. She is.
I mean, she just doesn't miss. It's pretty incredible. Like, she's the best scorer in the league, hands down. It's not even close. Like, she just makes the game of basketball really pretty and really pure, and it's fun to, like, be in the backcourt with her. Like, swear I just swing the rock, and it's, like, an automatic assist, and, like, it's fun just, like, getting to watch her do her thing, and it's fun to see, like, the joy and the passion that she has for the game. Like, she truly loves the game. She loves her teammates. She loves, getting to compete and work every single day. Like, she truly, like, just puts her head down and, like, goes. Like, there's no extracurricular with her. Like, it's basketball, and she's gonna have her teammates back, and it's just been fun to obviously watch her evolution from when I first got here, and obviously a lot of these moments, like, they're for her. Like, they're special. Like, she's been through the worst of times with this organization. So I'm just really happy she's playing her best basketball right now, and she just continues to top the last night, and just keeps it moving forward, which really just happy for her. I mean, she just doesn't miss. It's pretty incredible.
That's Caitlin Clark singing the praises of her teammate, Kelsey Mitchell. It's not crazy to think Kelsey Mitchell can be the most valuable player in the WNBA. That's not a crazy take. Do I think Caitlin Clark is more valuable to the Indiana Fever than Kelsey Mitchell? I mean, yeah, I do. Because, Caitlin Clark, she's the engine. She's the engine to that damn team. She is. The moment was drafted by the Indiana Fever 3 years ago, it was her team, it was her system, and all things were on go. I have to give her that credit. because prior to Caitlin Clark being drafted to the Indiana Fever, they weren't a really good basketball team. They were actually horrible. But once she got in the building, she changed the environment. She changed everything. She changed everything. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a silly conversation to be quite honest with you. Um, I do. I don't think it's that big of a deal. To be quite honest with you, I think it's just content creators like grasping at straws. I'm a relatively new content creator. Like I've only had this YouTube page for 1 year. I'm new to the game. But I'm learning that, you know, creating conflict, it pays the bills. It pays their bills. So I can't even really be mad at that or at them, looking at some things and trying to amplify it. I can't be mad at it. I get it. It's all about content. It's all about giving the people what they want. It's the name of the game. It's the name of the game. And, to a certain extent, I understand it. So I played the first video, Candace Parker, Aliyah Boston saying they're MVPs, with Caitlin Clark not being in their top four of MVPs. I also played Caitlin Clark singing the praises of Kelsey Mitchell because, yes, Kelsey Mitchell is very important to the Indiana Fever, to the point that Caitlin Clark has to give her flowers. She has to. In yesterday's game, yes, Caitlin Clark hit those two clutch free throws. But before that, it was Kelsey Mitchell who closed the game out in overtime. I watched it. I watched it. So it's very important to have everything in perspective. You want to give Kelsey Mitchell her flowers because we know the importance of her, by all means do that. You want to have her in MVP conversations because you feel like, she doesn't get enough credit, you do that. It's okay. To the people out there, to the content creators who's trying to create this rift between two superstar players on the same basketball team, I think that's the wrong route you guys are taking. I don't think that helps anything in regards to wanting to see the Indiana Fever win a championship. It doesn't help. These players see everything, right? They see it all. And you guys trying to create this rift between Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, I think it's silly. I think it's silly and it's unnecessary. Now, once again, Aliyah Boston is singing the praises of her teammate, Kelsey Mitchell.
AB, I'm not sure how much more you can say, but when you see Kelsey, who already is one of the best scorers in the world, get to this level, what does that say about her work ethic and the way she's playing?
Yeah, Kelsey comes in here and she works every day. I mean, she gets up extra shots. She just comes in and does what she needs to do. And I think, honestly, she's really just the MVP. Like, I think that's just what she's been doing. Every single night you see her come out and she drops, I don't even know how many points at this rate. She defends her butt off, and then we just come out here and we play. I mean, she does exactly what she needs to do, so I'm really proud of her.
AB, I'm not sure.
What did she say that was so wrong about that? What's the problem? She gave her flowers to her teammate and sung her praises. Now, this is the thing. And to a certain extent, I understand. I get it. You're not singing the praises of Caitlin Clark. What's going on? Why aren't you saying the same thing about Caitlin Clark? That's what the narrative is. And I think it's just unnecessary and it's silly. because Aliyah Boston can sing the praises of Kelsey Mitchell. And that just doesn't mean she doesn't have anything good to say about Caitlin Clark. Because in my opinion, everybody is singing the praises of Caitlin Clark. Everybody in this world, on this planet, who actually knows basketball and doesn't have a bias, understands the impact of Caitlin Clark. You will have to be a fool to deny Caitlin Clark's impact, her greatness, what she brings to the table. So that's what I think. I just think so many people are singing Caitlin Clark's praises that at this point, we just all understand it. It's a given. Yes, Caitlin Clark is amazing. The things that she's doing on the basketball court is amazing. She's in the top 3 in points per game and assists per game. It's never been done in the history of the WNBA. She's creating history every single night. We all can see this. The only thing I think Aliyah Boston is saying is, hey, Caitlin Clark always gets the praise. What I want to do is I just want to praise my other teammate, my other all-star teammate, Kelsey Mitchell, and let me give her some flowers. If Caitlin Clark gets 12 flowers, what's wrong with me giving Kelsey Mitchell 4 flowers? That's all. I'm just going to toss some flowers her way. It just doesn't diminish Caitlin Clark in any way. But you have Caitlin Clark fans, and then you have Caitlin Clark stans who thinks everything is a slight to Caitlin Clark. I can't ride with that. I just can't. Now, this thing has picked up so much momentum from, YouTube content creators. I'm not going to say their names. If you just put on YouTube, Aliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, they will pop up. They will pop up. It's gotten so big over YouTube, over Twitter, that it's caught on to the one and only Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless has weighed in on the Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark riff, or quote unquote riff. Now, I'm going to play that video, but I got to play this satire video real quick first. Now, like I said, I'll be on Twitter. A lot of information comes on Twitter first. That's where I see it from. So you have this, and before I get to that, I got some people in the building. When you enter the building, please do me a favor. Please hit the like button for me. I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate that. Also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, The Sports Culture, all things sports, please do me a favor. Hit the subscription button for me. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and at this very moment, every single subscription matters. So please hit the like button for me. Hit the subscription button for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate the support. So, like I was saying, there is, and I follow this account. It's a funny ass account. The account is Brick Center. Obviously, it's a play on Sports Center. Now, this video was dropped, or this tweet was made on August 14th. And this is playing on the Aliyah Boston don't like Caitlin Clark situation. So this is just a play on it. Now, it's a quick little video, and Brick Center on Twitter said, Aliyah Boston really hates Caitlin Clark. Laughing emoji, crying laughing emoji. And this is the video. It's a funny video.
Offensive rebound for Dallas. They have 7, and it leads to 3. Odyssey Sims. Another offensive rebound.
That was funny. That was funny, man. Like, obviously, it was an accident. She hit Caitlin Clark in the face with a basketball. It's funny, but it shows you that, you know, as far as, content creators are concerned, like, yes, this is a thing. Now, do I think it's a thing in the locker room? Do I think that Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston are sitting down in the locker room talking about, hey man, you got some issues with me? No, I don't have no issues with you. Why would you say that, Caitlin Clark? Well, according to this content creator, you don't like me. You have some issues with me. You didn't have me as a top 4 in your MVP rankings. You give me credit to our teammate, Kelsey Mitchell. Do I think that's a real conversation that's happening in that damn locker room? No, I don't. I think everybody sees it and everybody ignores it. That would be the smart thing to do, not to feed into the BS that comes with social media. It's a lot of BS that comes with social media. It's a lot of unnecessary drama that comes with social media. And I'm telling you, I think this Indiana Fever team, I think they can win it all because they're doing a really good job of eliminating outside noise, outside distractions. I just did a live on Stephanie White because, once again, a lot of content creators, they want Stephanie White fired. They don't like Stephanie White all season long. They think she's been sabotaging Caitlin Clark. It's been a thing all season long. And the Indiana Fever players, they have their coaches back. They defend their coach. And I have nothing but respect for that. So, yes, they are doing a great job of eliminating the outside noise. They have been. That's why I think they can win the WNBA championship this year. I think they could do it. The Eastern Conference is not a tough conference. They can easily make it to the damn WNBA finals. Now, like I said, I've been talking about, YouTube content creators, I don't want to call them Joe Schmo, but they're not mainstream. But this person on the screen, he's mainstream. Skip Bayless is mainstream. We all know who Skip Bayless is. And Skip Bayless has some thoughts on Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. In this video, he says, what Aliyah Boston said disturbs me because, as we all know, Caitlin Clark has enough issues with the rest of the league despising her. He's fallen for the trap. I mean, I don't even want to know. I don't want to call it a trap. It's just internet talk. He's fallen for the internet talk, the content creator talk. He's fallen for it. So I have not watched this video. I read the caption, so I kind of have a feeling about what he's going to say, but I have not watched the video. So I will watch this video. It's a 10-minute video. I might have to stop it and start it to give my reaction, but this is Skip Bayless talking about Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark.
Maybe I'm making too much of this. Maybe I'm overreacting, but today I saw Aliyah Boston say of her teammate Kelsey Mitchell, she's really just the MVP. And the more.
Hold on, let me chime in real quick. Yes, you're making too much of it, Skip Bayless. Yes, content creators, you guys are making too much of it. It's really not that big of a deal. I'm telling y'all it's not.
I thought about it, the less I liked it, because I ask you, exactly what good does it do for Aliyah Boston to say that publicly about Kelsey Mitchell when a lot of people out there think Caitlin Clark is making a bid for MVP? Not that that matters, but what good does that do Aliyah Boston to pick a side? I started thinking, is Kelsey a little needy right now? Is she feeling underpublicized? Does she need to be energized and supported by her much younger teammate, Aliyah Boston? Maybe.
I just said this. Listen, Caitlin Clark is going to get the praise from everybody. And Kelsey Mitchell is going to fly under the radar. I don't think Kelsey Mitchell is bitching and crying about not getting enough attention. I don't think that's what's going on. I just think Aliyah Boston notices how much attention Caitlin Clark is getting. And all she is saying is, hey, we have another teammate that broke the record of scoring 20 points, at least
Need to be encouraged to shoot more, because that's hard to believe, because right now Kelsey Mitchell averages almost 17 shots a game, just behind the leader in shots attempted in the WNBA, A'ja Wilson. So Kelsey Mitchell has taken the second most shots in the league. And I do watch just about every dribble of every Fever game. And I love Kelsey Mitchell. I've said many times she is an astonishingly clever, creative, gutsy scorer at whatever she is, 5'7", 5'8", a little undersized to be doing what she does on a nightly basis. Just exceptionally gifted. But she never saw a shot she doesn't love, and I'm fine with that because it works. It works for the big three. I'm cool with it, but it's a lot of shots, and she'll take some bad ones occasionally. So will Caitlin, so will Aliyah. I got it. But I've always been impressed with Aliyah's sort of command. She's extremely well-spoken, bright. That's why Candace Parker chose Aliyah Boston to be her partner on her podcast. What is it? Post Moves. I haven't watched the whole podcast, but I see lots of clips from it. And Candace Parker is all-time exceptionally spoken and bright, and there's no way she would choose Aliyah if Aliyah couldn't carry her weight on that show, and she does, until Caitlin Clark comes up. And every clip I see, I'm pretty sure Candace Parker has been nothing but supportive of Caitlin.
Yep. Can y'all hear me?
Clark, defends Caitlin Clark, and goes on and on positively about Caitlin Clark, while I see Aliyah in the two shot of them when Caitlin comes up, and it's just she won't say a word. I know it's controversial, and she is very adept at avoiding controversy, but she just said that Kelsey Mitchell is really just the MVP. I don't know if that meant of their team or of the league or both.
My bad, y'all. My microphone had died. So let me stop it right here. Listen, this is what I said earlier. This is why I'm not a fan of players having podcasts during the season. You want to have a podcast before the season? Cool. You want to have a podcast after the season? Cool. But during the season, you're giving ammo to people to talk about you and your thoughts on what's going on during the season. This is a very important season for the Indiana Fever. It is. They can make history this season if they not only get to the WNBA Finals, but if they win the WNBA Finals, they will make history. It's an important season. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the podcast during the season because you're just giving ammo to people like Skip Bayless to just criticize you. And once again, I don't think Aliyah Boston had any ill will or any harm in regards to saying Kelsey Mitchell is the MVP or top 4. I don't think she did. She just want to give her teammate flowers, knowing Caitlin Clark gets a lot of flowers from everywhere else. It's okay.
Seems to my eye that lately, as the three of them, the big three of the Fever, gets interviewed after wins, that Aliyah's body language is very pro Kelsey, like over the top pro Kelsey, where she's hugging her and sort of leaning her direction. I don't know, maybe trying to make sure she's included in the big three. And obviously, over time through history, you've had three amigos and three musketeers, and you've also had one of the oldest cliches that three can be company. Too much company. As in three's a crowd. And it can be a little tricky because somebody is going to side with somebody. And it disturbs me because, as we all know, Caitlin Clark has enough issue with the rest of the league despising her, or at least despising her fandom, much of which is white, that Caitlin is blamed for sort of instigating and inspiring, which is hogwash. She goes out of her way to be non-controversial, to sidestep every controversy, to say nothing but the right things. And yet she gets blamed for somehow inspiring this right-wing white nut crowd that follows her and then in turn follows the Fever. And she gets targeted. She's been bullied in the past. She's fighting back more this year. And it's disturbing to watch, at least for me. And my point is, she has enough going on without internal strife. And just to my eye of late, it just seems like Aliyah is going out of her way not to pass the ball back to Caitlin occasionally when she appears to be open.
So I've been seeing that a lot on social media. I've been seeing that a lot as far as they're saying Aliyah Boston doesn't want to pass the ball back to Caitlin Clark when she gets the ball. I do see that. I'm not going to speak on that too much because I think it's slightly far-fetched because we just don't know the ins and outs of, what the game plan is, what's going on. Like, It's a lot that goes on the basketball court that we as an audience, we just don't know. But that is a thing to content creators that break down film and say, hey, Boston, she should have done this, she should have done that. Why didn't she do this? That's because she don't like Caitlin Clark deep down inside. Like, it's silly. It's silly because Caitlin Clark literally this year, she did Aliyah Boston's and Candace Parker podcast. She was on their podcast as a guest. There's no smoke between the two players. Like I said, once again, I just think Aliyah Boston wants to give Kelsey Mitchell a little bit of credit for what's going on with the Indiana Fever because everybody else is singing Caitlin Clark's praises, which is understandable. It is understandable and it's well deserved. But they have another all-star on that team. And Aliyah Boston just wants to give her a little praise. That's it. That's all.
Passes more to Kelsey. See, it sounds like I'm starting something, but I'm just telling you what I see. I always say what I see, and that's what I've been seeing. And it didn't hit me hard until I saw Aliyah go so far as to say she's really just the MVP. And it makes me wonder if Aliyah listens to friends of hers who play on other teams around the league, and she has many, who don't like Caitlin. I don't know. It seems like Aliyah likes Caitlin just fine. And my point is that both Aliyah and Kelsey should thank their lucky stars they get to play on a nightly basis with the best passer in the league by far, the assist leader in the WNBA, a once-in-a-generation passer, Caitlin Clark.
Listen, the Indiana Fever had 3 all-stars on their team. Caitlin Clark, Aliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell. They all made the all-star team. If one of those players this season, if one of those players goes down, they're not winning a championship. It's not happening. If Kelsey Mitchell goes down and it's just Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, they're not winning the championship. Obviously, if Caitlin Clark goes down and it's just Aliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, I don't care what happened last year. This is a totally different year. They're not winning an NBA championship. So the big 3 in Indiana, they all are very important to the machine. They are. Like I said, I think they're doing a great job of blocking the outside noise because there's a lot of outside noise. And Aliyah Boston just singing the praises of one of her teammates, not named Caitlin Clark, is not that big of a deal. I can promise you, Caitlin Clark does not think it's a big deal.
A willing passer who also takes her share of shots, obviously, because she's really good at that too. She's a very gifted scorer, but she's a better passer. She's a gifted logo three-point maker, a long-distance jump shooter from 3, and that's sort of her crowd appeal. But her greatest gift, Caitlin's, is her passing. So what's not to love about this for both Aliyah and Kelsey, that they get to play with a generational passer who's a willing passer because that's who she is and what she does. There'll be 4 or 5 times a night, I'm say 3 or 4 times a night, and I'm a basketball fanatic. I will sit back and say, whew, that pass, man, that's it. That's unteachable. That's uncoachable. I do that with LeBron also on a fairly nightly basis. He's a generational passer. And LeBron and Caitlin do have this in common. They can see it before it happens and then execute it through the eye of a needle where you just say, oh, that's just special. That's just like, thank you, God. Okay, so Aliyah and Kelsey get to play with that. Why would Aliyah want to start something with, she's really just the MVP? Why would Aliyah go out of her way to seem to be siding with Kelsey and creating a rift that doesn't need to be created? They seem to be
Yeah, I don't think Aliyah Boston was thinking that this was going to be a riff. I don't think she would have thought it would be a rift. She was comfortable on her podcast. She just wanted to sing the praises of Kelsey Mitchell and didn't think that the Caitlin Clark stand base was going to make it into a big deal.
getting along just fine. 3 wasn't a crowd. I just don't understand it. Maybe she had a slip of the tongue. Maybe she didn't think. But she never says anything. And then she said that. And it seemed premeditated in a good way, like she had thought it through and she was just going to speak her piece. She's really just the MVP. Wow. Okay. That isn't an opponent saying that ahead of a game. That's her teammate saying that when obviously, even though Caitlin's had a couple of poor finishes, disastrous finishes to recent games, get it. But her numbers are still exceptional, and we still have a ways to go. And she can still, as the Fever go, she can still make her MVP case just the way Kelsey can. I got it. I just don't get, she's really just the MVP. And again, maybe I'm overreacting, but man, I just don't like it that Aliyah Boston said that about Kelsey Mitchell.
Listen, man, we are not in that locker room to know what goes on with that damn team. We don't know what's happening. We don't really know. We're just outside looking in. So if Aliyah Boston thinks that Kelsey Mitchell is the MVP, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not a slight to Caitlin Clark because obviously they know her impact on that team. It's obvious. You don't even have to say it. You don't even have to say it. So all Aliyah Boston was doing, she didn't think this was going to be a controversial thing, number one. You can tell. She just didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. But it became something to the point that Skip Bayless dropped a 10-minute video snubbing Caitlin Clark in an MVP talk. If I would have heard that in real time, I would have thought about it like, oh, wow, okay, that's her MVP list. She had Kelsey Mitchell on the list, didn't have Caitlin Clark. That's interesting. And I would have moved on with my day. Like, I promise you, I would not have made content over that. I would have consumed it, thought about it for 2 seconds, and kept it moving because it's really not that big of a deal. It really isn't. Aliyah Boston saying Kelsey Mitchell needs to be the MVP is not going to hurt Caitlin Clark. Because it's already written who's going to win the MVP. We already know. I don't even have to say her name. So all of this extra talk, it's just not necessary. It makes for good content. I understand as a content creator, you have to talk about something, and the people, they got enough ammo to go at Aliyah Boston. I don't like it. I think it's unnecessary. And I think the Indiana Fever have bigger goals at play that doesn't have anything to do with MVPs. I promise you, I don't think Caitlin Clark cares about a MVP right now in her career. I promise you, Kelsey Mitchell does not care about an MVP at this point of her career. Because ultimately, the Indiana Fever, Aliyah Boston, she was the number one overall pick in her draft class. Kelsey Mitchell, an all-star multiple times. And last but not least, Caitlin Clark, generational player, future MVP of this league. Ultimately, all three of those players will be judged off of if they won a championship together. That's the history that they want to create. Being champions. It's always the ultimate goal, is to win a championship. So at the end of the day, who cares about an MVP? To the Caitlin Clark stands, they care about an MVP for Caitlin Clark. They really do. They really don't care about the Indiana Fever. They're not fans of the Indiana Fever. They're fans of Caitlin Clark. And if Caitlin Clark has a great game, but the team loses, Caitlin Clark, she killed. Everybody else, they couldn't catch her passes. They didn't do enough. She didn't have enough help. That's how it's been. And I promise, I'm not that type of Caitlin Clark apologist. I can't be. I'm a huge fan. Love her game. Think very highly of Caitlin Clark. But I'm not a Caitlin Clark stan. I got homies that think I'm a Caitlin Clark stan, and I can't be critical of her. That's not true. That's not true at all. So this is my last message to content creators, man. Just take a deep breath, breathe. It's a lot going on with the Indiana Fever. They're playing great basketball. They just won in overtime versus the Atlanta Dream. Focus on that. Like, let that be your focus. It's okay that Aliyah Boston was singing the praises of her teammate, Kelsey Mitchell. It's okay. Caitlin Clark, she's going to be all right. You know that, right? She's having an amazing season. The Indiana Fever, they're having an amazing season. Let's see what happens. Let's see if they can go deep into the playoffs. And I'm telling you, they have an opportunity to win the WNBA championship this year. They can do it. Stephanie White has improved as a WNBA head coach. She has. She's letting Caitlin Clark be Caitlin Clark. Kelsey Mitchell, she's going to give you at least 20 points per game every night in, night out. KK Timpson, she scored 20 points yesterday. She got inserted into the starter lineup and started producing. I'm very impressed. Let that team be great. Let them go through the ups and downs of a WNBA season, and let's just see how it plays out. Please, let's just stop with this, MVP talk. Let's stop putting a potential beef between Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, because it's just not. It's not gonna be what you think it's gonna be. Now, once again, to the people that's in the building, do me a favor. I got some people in the building. Please, please, please hit the like button for me. I will greatly, greatly appreciate that. Also, if you're not subscribed to the Sports Culture, all things sports, do me a favor. Please hit the subscription button. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers and I'm almost there. I've been dropping content consistently. I've been going on live. I did 2 lives yesterday, back to back. Back to back. I'm doing a live right now. I'm working. I'm working. If y'all don't know, YouTube, they've been changing their guidelines a lot. So as a new content creator, I got to get to it. I got to get to it. And that's what I'm doing. So, help me help you. If you're enjoying the content, if you like what I'm saying, don't like what I'm saying, leave your opinions. It's all good. We talking sports. Hit the subscription button for me. All right, I'm finna get up out of here. Like I said, thank you for the support. I definitely want to do this live. As of right now, I don't see any talk about, Caitlin Clark, Aliyah Boston. I don't see that talk anymore. This was more so like 2, 3, 4 days ago that I just didn't really get around to, but it was something that, it was weighing on my mind, and I definitely wanted to, I wanted to address it. I wanted to talk about it. And, to the content creators, man, just take a chill pill, man. It's all good. It's all good. Let it play out how it's going to play out. All right, y'all. I'm finna get up out of here, man. Like I said, thank you for the support. Um, Hit the like button for me. We'll really appreciate that. Hit the subscription button for me. We'll really appreciate that. This is the Sports Culture, all things sports. I go by the name of Jay Bamfo, and I'm finna get up out of here. Thank y'all.